has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up. It got shoved. Right?
So let's jump right into the Western Michigan game. A mixed bag for sure. Really a tale of two halves. Travis, I'll start with you. Just quick, knee-jerk general reaction.
Yeah, I would say that that's an accurate assessment. When I would have liked to have seen us kind of not come off the gas in that second half and kind of keep killed. Like I felt like we stopped throwing the ball down the field as much as we were during that first half. But my initial reaction was, okay, we look like we're a little bit better than last year based on the way we came out. Yeah. Now, going forward, it's going to be, can we finish these games and play complete games like we did when we started? When we go, like, there's stuff out there about like, hey, we can't go off, we can't, perform when the script's over, when we're done running scripted plays. So, we'll have to keep an eye out for the rest of the way, see how much stock he actually put into those opinions. Yeah,
Nikki, what about you?
Yeah, like what Vic said, I mean, first half could not have really gotten much better. I mean, I feel like we saw exactly what we needed to see. Aiden didn't really have to do anything, but the run game, I mean, that was just beautiful. We'll get into that later. Defense was good all game, but man, the second half was obviously it's the week one, so there's always going to be some slop, but this just kind of seemed like we repeated a lot of the patterns of the second half of last year. It kind of just felt like the next game after. I consider last season to be the season until the Michigan game and then the season after the Michigan game. This kind of just seemed like the next step of the season after the Michigan game, where we played really clean in the first half. Penalties don't seem to be too much of an issue anymore. They're going to happen sometimes, but it's a decent jumping off point. Cannot have that second half again. I think that's all I got to say about that for now.
I agree. The stat that's going around that we haven't outscored a team in the second half since Prairie View A&M is jarring, to say the least.
But what you think about it, it adds up. Like,
well, yeah, you're
look
right.
At how badly we've gotten beat by some of these Big Ten teams. You're like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
not happy about it, but I see how that's possible.
Travis, what do you attribute that to? Do you think that there's some credibility to what's being said about performance once we're off script, or maybe even second half adjustments from the coaching staff, or do you just think it's more of an execution thing?
I think it's kind of a little bit of all of the above, honestly. Like I don't know. Well, I haven't seen enough to really dive into that whole scripted issue, but it does feel like maybe they're not making some adjustments in the second half, particularly in Big Ten play last year, because, forget about getting outscored in the second half, but we were outperformed whether they scored points or not in the second half in most of the games last year. So there might be something to that. It's just, I don't know. It's something that's really hard to put a finger on, especially when you're 13 games into a coaching staff.
Right.
And your quarterback last season was in his first year as a starter, as a sophomore, 18 years old. You didn't really know what you had around him, and your defense was kind of a liability for the most part. And you played, 4 playoff teams last year or something like that? Yeah. It's a hard jumping off point to really figure out what's going on there, but that's why they coach and we don't. they got to figure it out. We could just sit here and say, "Hey, that was good," or that was bad.
Yeah, the second half. This is a bit of a maybe an aggressive comparison. I won't say it's exactly like it, but it reminded me of the Rutgers game a little bit, where it's like everyone just looked a little disinterested, and I don't know if that's taking the foot off the gas, so we're just not as executing as well. Or I wonder if they were just keeping the playbook close to the vest and really just running the most simple stuff. And, that's a little easier to stop, and they're really not mixing anything in. I would have liked to start doing that maybe when we're up closer to 30. But, if keeping something in the back pocket picks up a first down versus Boston College or opens up a big play for Nick Marsh or any of the other receivers, then I'm okay with that. I can get past beating Western 23-6 if they just win the next few games. I guess what I'm trying to say.
And I guess not. Like, the score's not pretty, and obviously this isn't the same Western team that we played this during what I'm about to bring up, but we only beat them by 14 when we went to the playoff.
Yeah, it
was like they're 37-24.
Yeah.
So we were all kind of panicking after that, especially with the RJ Shelton fumble in that game. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Western's not as good as they were back then, but it just shows you that you don't really know anything off of these first week games.
Yeah, it's true. Nick, what do you think the biggest difference in the second half was? What were we doing in the first half that in the second half all of a sudden we weren't doing?
From the snap counts I read and kind of from looking at back, it did seem like we were kind of rotating players a lot more, especially on the offensive line. Players were flip-flopping. I feel like Connor Moore played on the left and the right. I think a lot of it was just trying to figure out what they have, kind of saying, well, let's be real. At some point, it's football. There's going to be injuries. Let's see. We can go cohesion with some guys.
Experimenting a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, just Western, who knows? Maybe they're not that bad, and they made some adjustments, and we kind of felt like we didn't need to make adjustments, which still would have liked some. I do think if especially at the end, I know there was that Aiden fumble after he got sacked, and that was a great drive before that. I think if we ended up scoring a touchdown, because I think we were in the red zone there, if we scored a touchdown and it was 30-0, I think we're all thinking about this game. I don't think anyone's really worried at all.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
But if we didn't have those, if it wasn't just every game, last year it was after the fourth quarter we stopped being good, and that's felt like it was after the second half. It wasn't just the same mistakes. I think it would be a lot easier for us to move on. This weekend. In the future.
Yeah, I'm with you. So obviously a pretty big mixed bag. So I think this is a perfect game to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. Start with the good because we're a positive show for the most part. Or at least we try to be. Travis, I'll throw it to you first. What was the couple things that you really were like, damn, this is good. This is good football.
Yeah, I actually have quite a few, but I'll save some in case Nikki brings them up. But I think one that we can all agree on was that passing game looks a lot better than it did last season, especially with Amari Kelly running over the middle with all that. Running backs, Tullis and Frazier both looked really good when they had the ball, and there was lanes for them to run through, which is something we haven't necessarily seen since Kenneth Walker, I guess. And then the last one that I'll go with was the defense. Outside of that first play, they locked everything up, especially the run defense. Buckley is a 1,000-yard running back. We held him to 27 yards or something like that. And we got a safety out of the defense. The defense got some scores. It had a couple chances to get safeties earlier. They created turnovers like they should have, and they looked like a Big Ten defense should look against a MAC opponent.
Yeah, I agree with that. The run game in the first half was nice. Even honestly, the second half wasn't bad either. Early on the right side of the offensive line looked really good. I know if you read Pro Football Focus, their stats out there, but I was listening to Sheehan talk. He's most of a lot of the runs, the first contact wasn't until 5 yards down the field.
Yeah, you could
which was
see
nice
that watching it too.
Yeah,
you could see that watching it. And that's a dream for a running back.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Frazier and Tullis. Cal Tolliver, I think he was on the wrong side of some bad blocking, but he definitely didn't look as good. I think it's pretty clear who the two top choices are. Nikki, what about you? What are your good takeaways?
I mean, Jordan Hall's a dog. He's just.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, we've been hyping him up since freshman year, and he's finally seems to be there. I mean, the Dallas duo at running back, I can't get enough of them. That's what they call me and Viss. But
Yeah,
now we're cementing the
That's
name
right.
to Tulis and Frazier.
I like it.
Childs was fine. He didn't really need to do anything again. But I mean, short pass, he had a good completion percent. Good completion, it was like 74% or something. I mean, yeah, I feel like we've watched running backs not get tackled past the line of scrimmage for the first time against it's like Kenneth Walker, and that was just beautiful.
Mhm.
And I mean, special teams. We'll get into that. That was just
Yeah.
I got.
Agreed. Great night from him outside of I mean, I'm sure he hasn't practiced too many 46-yard field goals in his life, but a phenomenal night punting the ball for him. Flipped the field very well. I think you guys hit the nail on the head for the most part. I think more statistically, 20 first downs, which I think is fair amount. 336 total yards offensively. Again, I think I wouldn't call that bad or ugly. I think it's fine. You put up 336 total yards. I would expect more than 23 points. 1 for 1 on fourth downs. I thought that was nice. Travis, you touched on the passing game, but I thought Amari Kelly just was phenomenal.
I wrote down Childs and Kelly have chemistry. Like it was very clear to see. And I mean, I'm looking at my notes again. It's everything we've said. Running backs weren't touched till they were way downfield.
Yeah,
everything. I think another thing was the defensive backs were coming up in run support too.
Yeah,
near the line of scrimmage, a lot of Willy, and Josh Eaton.
Yeah,
sitting up there, so that was good to see.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, I think you said the first half. I mean, no complaints. I really didn't have any complaints from me. I mean, it's just they looked like a team that was going to go on to win that game 34-0. Okay, the bad. Nikki, I'll start with you here.
I mean, the second half was just.
I was going to save that for the ugly.
The words right out of my mouth.
You're right. You know what? For the bad, because I don't want to call it in the ugly yet, but the two fumbles from Childs were bad. I don't think the second one was his fault. I know Tulis missed a block, I guess, that he really should have gotten. But again, he's someone who you don't want to turn it over. I mean, that turnover didn't really matter at the end of the day, but and he got the first fumble back. But it seems like near the end of the game, he just has kind of those moments where he gets a little rattled, it seems. And that's fixable. Everything that he does is fixable. And I don't think he was bad, but the fumbles in general were not good. And just you could just kind of tell when we were mixing people around that some things don't quite work yet.
Yeah, I don't know what it was there was a couple times the running backs missed in the pass blocking. And I don't know if that's miscommunication, shuffling guys in and out or what. But as well as they ran the ball, I thought they struggled a bit in the pass blocking. And I think Tullis or Frazier picked up a block on a play. I was rewatching last night, and I was like, wow, where was that for the rest of the game? But that's definitely something that I think needs to be ironed out. More on the pass blocking later. But Travis, what about you in terms of the bad?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just hit on it. The pass blocking in the second half was just, I mean, they made that number 11 for Western Michigan look like he was Micah Parsons or
I was gonna say
J.J. Watt, whoever you want to put in, whatever Pro Bowl pass rusher you want to put in there. It was just all over the place. I mean, they gave up 4 sacks at least to a MAC defense that probably should, like, it probably wasn't most of it was probably against a combination that's not going to see a lot of playing time together based on what all the shifting they were doing in the second half. But that's still way too many to give up against a mediocre MAC team. And then I guess just the rest of it, this sloppy finish. You got to get better at finishing games. I mean, I know it's a new group, new coaching staff, but it's been 4 years since we could conceivably finish the game well. Then you got to see more steps in that way.
Yeah, they made that Booker guy look like a star. I was kind of like, how did we not get? How is this guy not on our team?
Yeah. And then also, I guess one other thing that I had written down was getting beat early on that deep shot was not good to see. I mean, they spent a little too they didn't spend a lot of time in our territory, but they took a couple shots that they hit on that put them in our territory a little more than I would have wanted to see.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
That first one was just like everyone there, like me and Jordan were just like, oh.
Yeah. It was it was like the Child's pick last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, uh-oh, this is bad.
Yeah. One of the things I thought that I didn't love, it's not that they kept Childs in the game too long. I mean, they obviously didn't do that, but he was just running for his life a lot in the second half. And it's week 1, we're playing Western. We don't need Childs getting, knocked around like that. And look, he's going to run. You don't want to, necessarily put a pitch count on him, but not in week 1, we just don't need, him running around for his life like that. So I think a little bit on the coaching staff there, maybe drop some plays to get the ball out a little quicker, or just keep running the ball. Honestly, they were running the ball fine. But yeah, I think the pass blocking in the second half really was my biggest thing. The mix up with the running backs, and I get they were shuffling guys in and out, but I didn't love that. A couple statistics, 2 turnovers. Nicky, you touched on that. Let's see, 4 for 13 on third down, not great. That's something that I think we'll need to get better at, the third down conversion. Penalties, they were okay. 5 penalties for 35 yards. I don't think that's good, bad, or ugly, but
better than last year.
Yeah. I mean, I would take that. I mean, I was saying last year, I would kill for that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. But none of them really killed us. Those are the worst penalties, when you get one that just brings a big play back, or a drive ruining false start or something. But I want to the ugly. Nicky, I'll start with you here. What was just making you want to scratch your eyeballs off?
As I said last time, the second half.
I wish I couldn't watch.
Yeah, it's just at some point, if it all comes, like we were saying earlier, what does it go to? What's attributing to that? At this point, it's the coaching. If it's been going on for 10 games of not being able to outscore a team, it all goes up to the coaching. Yeah. Johnny's got to figure it out. Johnny's got to do something. And he's got to put the right pieces in place. If people aren't dialed in enough, that's a huge problem. Let's change that around. And again, who knows? It was Western week 1. We already felt like we won, and we did. So don't do it again.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad of a win. Nick, you sent us that graphic earlier. We dominated based on that statistic, and I don't know where that person is pulling that, or how they are, exactly they are looking at it, or coming to this conclusion. But it was based on that graph. It was one of the more dominant wins of the day, or the weekend.
Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Second most dominant Big Ten team.
Yeah. So, I don't think the sky is falling. I think there's a lot of things that need to be worked on. But again, like you said, Nicky, it is week 1. Travis, what about you in terms of the ugly? Yeah,
I would say, I mean, more specifically in that second half, the turnovers. Nicky talked about Childs with the fumbles, and that's. I would like to say that's not going to happen when he gets hit, but I mean, you also don't want him to get hit that much, so. It's kind of a double-edged sword there. But and then the interception thrown by Milivojevic.
That was mine.
It's not that you don't. It's not like that you don't want to see him throw, especially the way that they've been talking about it. But it kind of looked like he just stared down the one read and threw it right to the DB.
Yeah, that was pretty determined.
Which happened to be former Spartan Tate Halleck. And
of course he gets returned for 6
for a touchdown. Yeah, and all of a sudden, there goes the shutout. Blah blah blah.
And the cover.
Yeah, it's just again, it's an ugly finish to a game that in the first half looked like it was going to be a beautifully polished product.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I guess the other one I was going to say, and I don't want to harp on this because he had a great game otherwise, but that field goal from Eckley was just.
It was ugly.
It was. I could have thrown the ball through the uprights better than that.
Yeah. That's a tough spot for him.
Most people probably could, but you get my point. Yeah.
Yeah. I had the Alessio interception as well. I don't think there's necessarily too many things that are ugly. I think you could make a case the entire second half. The culmination of everything we did bad was pretty ugly.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything out there that I'm like, this can't be fixed. To me, the biggest thing is just like the second half situation, just not coming out as sharp as you are in the first half. That has me concerned a bit about the coaching staff. And I would be it'd be one thing to me if the players were playing their ass off. And I know they played hard, but there just seemed like a lack of like that first half. I felt like they were fired up, they were intense, and then they just kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit. And like that is fine to do versus Western Michigan, and it will be fine versus Youngstown, and it'll be fine against whoever we play after that. That's the end of the.
I don't think that's.
Hey, it's not going to be fine.
I keep thinking we have one more out of conference game, but that's not going to be fine when you're playing most Big Ten teams.